a mentor. She's involved in the community very much. Has done very well with this business. I believe you're over the 100,000 a month mark as well, are you not?
Yeah, I got my 100K badge this time last year. Yeah.
This time last year? Oh, yeah. So, all right, cool.
Christmas,
so, what's that?
Around Christmas time, yeah.
Around Christmas time, cool. So if you can, just give a little bit of an intro to yourself, kind of where you're at now with your business, how you got there, and then if you have any words of wisdom to share for people that are in this, stuck in this module 3 kind of mindset of working with suppliers and getting moving.
Okay, well I'm ASM 2, so I started in October 2013. I decided to source from China, and my product actually went live during the live event in the January that followed. And I added my second product probably maybe 4 or 5 months later, because it was actually my customers who asked me to add it. And that's one thing that I have been saying in the community. People are kind of maybe racking their brains to know what additional products they should add if they choose a certain product. And I always say to them, well, your customers will probably tell you what they want to add. My customers told me they loved my product, and did I do such and such another variation of the product? And then after another few months, they said, yes, we like these two. Why don't you put the two of them together in a set? So it kind of organically grows the products that you have. And then I added another couple of products, 2 or 3 products just in the last few months as well. So that's really the way my business has been growing.
Awesome. So you said you immediately dealt with China, correct?
Yes.
So what were, I'm going to kind of just repeat a lot of the questions that they asked Jamie, because I'm sure that's going to be what people are going to want to know. What was your biggest roadblock? What was your biggest challenge with sourcing your first products?
I can't honestly say that I had a huge problem. I found, obviously the initial decision was whether I was going to source in the USA or in China, and it was actually quite funny because my first call I was to a supplier in the USA, and I called a supplier in New York who was so scary that I decided I was never talking to anyone in the USA again. So I went to China, and it just happened from there. I built, you were talking there about relationships with suppliers, and I've dealt with the same supplier in China right the way through and have an absolutely fantastic relationship with her. She actually left the company that I initially started working with to work on her own, and I continued to work with her, and she's nearly more like she sources products for me and everything now. She's nearly more like a member of my business than just a supplier of a couple of products. Now, so I really do think it's key to have a very good relationship with your supplier. She would suggest products to me too, and she would negotiate terms and extra extra things that I would never have been able to do myself, dealing directly with suppliers over there. So that has worked out really well for me.
Awesome. So just a reminder to everyone too, if you have a question for Elaine, just put the word Elaine in before your question and we'll be sure to answer it. So Elaine, how many products are you selling now, and how long did it get you to get to that point?
I had, well, this time last year I had 2 products and a set that was for both of those, that had both of those products in it, and I've just added 3 more products in since September. So that's 6 products.
So this is a great question. Did you approach suppliers as an individual or as a corporation when you first got started?
As an individual. I did start my initial emails. I was careful to be professional. However, I very quickly got people over to Skype. And really then it was just really one human being talking to another from there on, and it really didn't come into it the size of my business. It was irrelevant. So does that answer your question?
No, no, that's awesome. My finger was late hitting the unmute again. Sorry, I have to hit the mute button, or else there's often an echo here with this Google Hangout. So, cool. So really, I don't have any other questions for you right now. If anyone has some questions, this has been awesome. Just the whole idea here is I just wanted you've heard it from them. Both of them over $100,000 a month. They were exactly where you were. They just pushed through. So actually, we do have another question here that I'm going to ask you in just a second here too. But I really, hopefully you're getting the message, and hopefully we're drilling your head, because I'm sure, for the people that are already there, that have already dealt with their suppliers, that are already getting ready and have ordered their inventory, congratulations. But for those of you that are struggling and just unsure, again, ask in the community. It's people like Elaine and Jamie that are there to help with you. And just so you can see here, like everybody, both of them have never done this before, and now they've got a successful business. It's the growing pains you go through. Once you get through this phase, it'll be so easy moving forward. And in fact, I know a lot of people, I know Mike McClary, a lot of people have said this. Now that they've gone through this, actually the product sourcing is their favorite part of the business. So that's something to look forward to, that even though it's kind of a pain right now, for some of you, this is actually a fun part of the business, because you're building relationships and you get to get creative. Because remember, the whole idea of this business model is we're teaching you now how to get started the simplest way. But as you heard Elaine say, that her supplier actually told her, no, her customers told her what she should be selling next. That's the idea, is once you get selling now, let your customers start telling you, let your suppliers start telling you, start getting creative, figure out how to make the products even better, and it starts to become really fun. So Elaine, how did you vet a supplier when giving them your credit or debit card info? Would you recommend using a credit card over a debit card? Interesting question.
I did it by bank transfer, but I was very careful to choose an Alibaba supplier initially who had all of the credentials that were recommended in ASM. I've never really had any problem with that.
Okay. And what was the minimum order quantity for your very first product order?
Well, I went ahead with quite a large minimum order quantity. The actual individual unit price of my product wasn't very high, and I decided my supplier wouldn't come down as low as I initially wanted, so I actually went for 4,800 of an initial order.
Oh, wow, wow. Since you are based in Ireland, what is your tip to manage shipment from China directly to FBA in terms of quality and logistics?
I sent my inventory first of all to FBA inspection. It was Earth Class Mail I used at that stage. And just for my first order, and they took photographs for me, and everything was fine, and I had no issues. And by my next order, I had built up such a good relationship with my supplier, and she was actually doing a double quality control check for me before my inventory left China. So it just goes straight to FBA from China now.
Cool. Rich, could you just unmute yourself for a second? I just want to get something clarifying for right now, because because of what Elaine just. I believe it is in this module that we do give access with the coupon code to Earth Class Mail.
So Earth Class Mail, the address system, is covered in Module 1.
Okay.
The code we have, the discount is for FBA inspection.
FBA inspection. Okay, well, she mentioned both of those, so I wanted to bring that up just so everyone knows. So those are two services, and you can use, they're different. So, for example, Earth Class Mail was originally, it's just meant more for a mail forwarding, mailing address idea, but they will, when you contact them, will do extra things. Like Elaine said, they will actually check your products out and everything for you. So if you're not in the USA and you need something like that, but also there's FBA inspections, which is another service that we recommend. And what they do is they will take your inventory, they will make sure that everything's set up properly, and then they will send it to FBA. They'll also take pictures for you, make sure you do quality checks, all of those kind of things. And it's really, really affordable. So especially if you're not based in the USA, it's something you'll want to look at. So awesome. All right. No other questions right now. So Elaine, again, thank you very, very much. And I'm sorry that I'm trying to rush here, everyone. It's just we got a lot of questions, and I knew this was going to be a packed hour. So Elaine, I'm going to have you, if you can, just mute yourself and stay on the line, because I'm sure we're going to have more questions. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to get into the previously submitted questions. We've got a few of them, and then we are going to open them up to the questions that have been added. So first of all, Rich, I'm going to ask you. So the hot topic seems to be Amazon's requirements for ungated restricted categories. They do not clearly explain how to do this, especially for a new seller account. How long will the process take to complete the one free category service?
Okay, so it totally depends on which category. As I mentioned earlier in the call, health and beauty, health and personal care, beauty, and grocery are taking a lot longer right now. The others, there doesn't seem to be the same issue, and it can take anything from a few days to a couple of weeks. There is training on specific categories. If there's no training, any of the categories that aren't covered in the training, we actually recommend that you do use the service because it's a more complicated process.
Thank you. I'm having a problem with completing the conical URL. Is when I hit the Control and 7 keys, there's supposed to be a small box that comes up so that I can type in the conical URL, but nothing happens. Can you help me with that?
Yep. Yeah, you need to hit F7, not 7. That's why you're having the issue. There's two different ways of doing it, and Christy and I taught it two different ways. So that's the answer to that question is you need to hit F7 and not the number 7.
And Rich, I got actually two more questions for you, and then I'm going to ask Christy. This one's a little bit long, so give me a moment here. So let's say that we are going to sell bike gloves, as this is our best product based on the ASM rules. When we search on Alibaba, we put in keywords which are, in our example, bike gloves. But as we know that on Amazon, only summer bike gloves do sell well. So we wonder if we need to look for a manufacturer who produces exactly the same summer bike gloves or any bike gloves that we get results from, also winter bike gloves. Because we need to find from 60 to 20 manufacturers and only one on Alibaba is providing the exact same gloves as sold on Amazon. Do we then contact only this supplier or also others who provide gloves that are not exactly the same?
Okay, so you need to basically need to find the same. Sorry?
I had to mute myself because there was an echo.
Yeah, so you want to find the same product. So you want to be looking for, because it sounds like the summer gloves are the ones that are selling well, and you're saying that you're only finding one supplier. You'll probably find that if you try using different keywords, like I'm not an expert, but I'm assuming like summer gloves fingerless from what you're saying. So try using a different search term. And then if you're still not finding more suppliers, just use the term gloves and scroll through. I guarantee you that there is one supplier on Alibaba that is selling these summer gloves, then there's going to be more. It just is probably going to take you to like a little bit more digging for you. But if the fingerless summer gloves are the ones that are selling well on Amazon, they're the ones you found within our BSR ranges with our criteria and everything, then that's what you need to be looking for. You can't like say, well, there's some gloves with fingers, that's the same thing. It's not. It's a completely different product. So you need to concentrate on what the product is that you actually found.
So something to add to that too, make sure you're not just relying on the pictures provided on Alibaba as well. Like when you're reaching out to your manufacturers, show them the product you're talking about and they could probably do it. Like a lot of them will do, you know, they have more options than what they show you. So don't just give up because you see what the pictures are that they show you. All right, one more question for you, Rich, and then I'm going to hand the mic over to Christy. If I have a hot product, which is my first choice, which had a BSR well within the range for that category when I selected it, but over a few days later, while I've been contacting suppliers and arranging for samples, I know that the same hot product now has a BSR much lower than the range by approximately 20%. How concerned should I be? Should I proceed with my sample orders and potentially first inventory orders?
I would actually, I would continue moving forward with it. You're probably going to find that that product is shot up because they've done some kind of offer. I mean, I'm assuming when you say a much lower, you mean a much lower number. In other words, it's much more competitive. If the way BSR works, it does fluctuate, but if they've done a special offer or dropped their price to get some more sales because they want a higher rank, then it will jump up. So do keep an eye on it. And if you look at the other products you found, like the similar products, if they haven't jumped as well, then I think that's an indicator you can still move forward. Now, if all of those products suddenly jump up, then it's something you might need to consider. But the other thing is I'm trying not to be ambiguous, honestly, but if they're all jumping up, then it means that that's becoming an incredibly popular product. But you just need to be careful and then track it over the next few days. As I say, if it's just that one product out of your 3 similar products that's moving up in the rankings, or a lower number in the rankings, then it's not something I'd literally walk away from.
Yeah, lots of variables to consider with that as well. And that's again why you're looking for at least 3 products that are doing well, because you don't want to just rely on one. Remember too, right now we're kind of getting into a crazy shopping season as well too, so a lot of people are going to be doing huge discounts, promotions for Christmas, so you're going to probably see a lot of BSR fluctuations right now with things, because other products are going to be pushing hard, lots of variables. I would never give up on a product. If everything's looking good, if the product has still got a decent BSR and the other ones are still doing good, and it's something that you feel that you want to move forward with, I would by all means push for it. I think, one thing I want to let people know too is, we do have this criteria for a BSR, and there's a reason why we have that. But remember, like, I have products, my business has products that are selling higher than that range and still do very well. Some of them are doing very low as well too, with great BSRs. You're not going to always have a product selling like exactly at the lowest BSR range, but remember, just because your product is selling a little bit higher than the BSR, that's still, you could still be doing 15, 20 sales a day, making $10 profit a unit. That's $200 profit in your pocket every single day. So I know a lot of times we get hung up on, I want that one product that's going to get me to the $100,000 a month mark, and hopefully you get that right away, but sometimes it takes a couple products to get you there. But remember, in reality, how much money do you need right now to have more money? A lot of people are thinking, I want that $100,000 a mark thing. Well, if you were making $200 profit a day, that's what, $60,000 a year profit. That's pretty good money in my opinion. That means all expenses paid, everything paid, that's money in your pocket. So always keep that in mind too. Don't get too worried about BSR fluctuations, in my personal opinion anyway. As long as it's close to the range, there are going to be fluctuations. It doesn't mean, oh no, this product's no good. I would still go with it. All right, Christy, could I get you to unmute yourself, please?
I'm here.
All right, cool. So how do you differentiate between a real manufacturer and just the traders? I've had extensive Skype discussions with suppliers, and only after using some tricks they reveal that they are not actually manufacturing it themselves, but they have a very close relationship with a partner who manufactures. This means tomorrow, if I need more quantity, they may source from someone else, or if they don't find, they may refuse or even change the price based on the sourcing costs.
Well, one thing you can do.
Sorry.
One thing you can do is navigate to the tab on Alibaba that says company profile, and in their description they could say whether they're a manufacturer or if they're a trading company. That could be your first indicator. Also, you can ask them. I don't know that they're going to tell you, but really, in all honesty, I pretty much believe that 2 of my suppliers are probably traders, and I've never really asked them because, you know what, they got me the best price, better than what I could get negotiating with a manufacturer, because they're there, they know the products, they're out getting me the best deal because they want my business. So if you find somebody who is a trader and they're getting you the best price, I personally have not had an issue with them switching up to different suppliers or different lower quality, but that's something you have to build with them, like Aline talked about and Jason talked about, building a relationship with your supplier. And a trader, in my opinion, is the same thing. You need to build that trust in that relationship, and they don't want you to drop them from their business, so they're going to do a good job for you. So.
One other thing too to note, just remember, like, again, we didn't want to get into this too much initially, but we do get into more advanced sourcing strategies in the last module, module 12, and the whole idea for doing that is exactly that. You know, you want, if you're using a trader at first, then we give you some tips on how to go more advanced, find other things. The thing is, we don't want to bog you down now because it does take time to go through all those processes. Don't worry about using a trader initially if it gets you your initial product. It just keeps you moving, and as you heard from Christy, like, she's had no problems whatsoever. Now again, you know, knock on wood, this is a business, and there's all these different variables, and there's not a 100% chance that you're always going to get great traders and all that. You have to do due diligence. You want to be careful with the things you're doing, but at the end of the day, don't let fear hold you back. If you're uncertain, ask for help. Ask in the community. Say, can someone help me make sure that I'm making the right choice here? People will help you out, I promise. All right. Actually, if you want to, Rich Henderson said he'll help everybody out this way. So that's for getting me the other day, Rich, with that lunch thing. Okay, Christy, another question. I am based in the UK, so I'm getting samples here, but I'm going to ask the supplier to ship directly to Amazon. Is there a reliable, cost-effective way to check quality before reaching FBA? So we've kind of already answered this, but Christy, here's your input.
Yeah. I would strongly suggest using a service if you're not US-based and you're not getting it shipped to yourself before Amazon for your first shipment, for sure. You can use Earth Class Mail. You can also use FBA inspection. They're both services that offer different things, from reboxing damaged products to taking pictures of your product to make sure that everything was right. So yeah, I would definitely use one of those services if you're not US-based and not having products shipped to you before going to Amazon for the first shipment.
Cool. How important... Yes, I'm making sure I didn't mute myself again. How important is it to place the first order via Alibaba and not directly with the supplier if the supplier ticks the standard check marks like gold supplier, etc.?
I still think it's pretty important until you build that relationship with that supplier. For your first order initially, it should be through Alibaba and through a trusted source. And then once you are comfortable that they're not going to do the switcheroo or something like that, and placing future orders, you can go through your own email system, something like that. But I think stick within Alibaba and keep your communication within Alibaba until you're comfortable with that supplier.
Based on your experience, if a product is below 1 pound in weight and size, is within shoebox size format, and the FOB, freight on board price, is $4, what would be the multiple to find the FBA landing cost after shipping charges and customs duties?
Okay, well, FOB is different than EXW. So if you're shipping express, and I'm assuming you're talking about express shipping and not sea shipping. For express shipping, I kind of use the $2.50 per pound, but I don't know that I would necessarily consider a shoebox all that small. So it might be a little bit more than that, because that does add some volume. I think a shoebox would add volume weight, which would add to the per pound weight. So it's one of those. I think you probably should get a express shipment quote. I always do before I even order sample. You just ask them for a shipping EXW quote for shipping to the United States. I've never given them a FBA warehouse or an address, and they've been always been able to provide that for me. Don't guess. No.
So I got one last question for you here, and then we're going to open up some questions. If I only receive replies from 2 suppliers out of the 6 for one product and no replies from another, and they seem great and samples are fine, how important is it to persevere and have more to choose from?
Well, you have to remember this is an incredibly busy season right now. All these suppliers are probably swamped with orders for Christmas. So getting a very quick reply isn't necessarily going to happen at this time of year. So I think it's pretty normal for this time of year, and actually year-round. I don't even to this point, a lot of times when I'm contacting suppliers, some just don't reply back to me. And if you notice in their on Alibaba, it says their contact, their percentage, and stuff like that. Some just don't reply. But if you've gotten a good product, if you've gotten some replies, you like the price, a price that you're happy with, you've gotten the samples, you're happy with them, I say go forward. Don't be wrapped up in that you need to get so many samples and so many estimates, because otherwise you're going to be waiting for a long time. And just keep moving forward.
So we're running out of time, but I am, and sorry everyone that's on the call, I am going to ask us to just be an extra 5 minutes because I want to make sure we cover some things, because we do have the prizes to give away, which I'm sure everyone's excited for. And I just want to remind people, so I know there's a lot of questions, I've seen them, a lot of questions being submitted, so please remember, if we don't answer the questions on this call, we take all those questions, put them in the community, and make sure you get answers for them. With that said, before I get into this, Rich, are there any questions that you think are really critical to answer on this call right now?
There's none jumping out for me right now, but what we can do is any questions on this live call that we didn't get time to answer, we can actually put them into the Q&A call on Monday.
Okay, we'll do that as well too. Okay, cool. Right on. All right, so now we're going to get into our prizes. So let me get that document open. So as you know, every week we do two things. Number one, we give the Community Helper of the Week. This is our way of saying thank you to people that get involved in the community, help, they share ideas, they give encouragement, they share strategies for helping people through rough times, and they just help make our community that much better. So we always give thanks to the runners-up. We just give them a shout-out to say thanks. But then we pick one lucky person who gets a 30-minute one-on-one with me, as long as it happens within 6 months of the start of ASM. So basically about 6 months from now, you have to take it up. And we can sit there and talk about absolutely anything in regard to your Amazon business. So that's 30 minutes. All you have to do is contact support, and then we'll schedule time, and I'll get on the phone with you, and we'll be able to discuss, look at strategies, choices, whatever you're doing with your business, I will help you out. So with that said, the runners-up this week for awesome help in the community is Chris Yates, Michael Stevens, Smilyan Pavlov, sorry if I'm butchering names, really apologize, Dennis Brady, and Nadeem Akram. So those 5 names, awesome, thank you so much. We truly appreciate that you get involved and you give back into the community. But this week, the #1 winner for the Community Helper of the Week is Greg Pullman. So Greg Pullman, thank you very much. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for giving back to the community. It is truly appreciated. So if you reach out to support and ask them to schedule time for your one-on-one that you got on the Module 3 weekly call, we will schedule time and we'll get that call. And again, it can be at any time from now to the next 6 months, as long as it's focused on you and your physical products business. So the next thing we have here, and again, you know, one of the things, and I hope you really understand why we do this, we really push people to achieve their badges. And the reason why we want people achieving their badges is because it gives you those micro commitments that you're doing, which help you keep moving forward. It helps you get a reward for your achievement. Plus, it gives you an opportunity for things like this, the ability to win a $100 Amazon gift card. So we give away $200 Amazon gift cards, and all it takes to enter into this is achieve your badge, any badge in the system whatsoever, plus share it in the community thread about badge accomplishment. So the 2 people that win a $100 Amazon gift card each this week are winner #1, Laura Horn. So congratulations, Laura Horn, and Jasmina Brodnick. So Jasmina Brodnick and Laura Horn, congratulations, you won a $100 Amazon gift card each, simply just for doing what we ask and move forward with this business, earn the badges, and then share about them in the community. So if next week you want to get a chance to win one of these $100 gift cards, again, can be even just setting up your seller profile, your Amazing.com account profile, your Seller Central account, any badge whatsoever. If you haven't earned a badge yet, it's not too late. Get in the game and start doing it, and you can win. Another thing I want to remind you about is please, 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 If you're ASM6, watch out for that video today. I promise you it's going to be worthwhile. It's going to give you a chance to win up to 4 chances of up to $500 towards your inventory. That's coming out today, so you're going to want to watch for that. I'm going to have to call the short, cut the call now. It's over the hour mark. Hopefully we're seeing a lot of you in the next few days here in Vegas. I'll be most likely always wearing an amazing.com shirt, so we will see you here. Thank you again to Elaine and Jamie. Thank you so much for coming on the call. Christy and Rich, thank you so much for always being here. Shane and Spirit, we know you were here, buddy. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Again, this call is being recorded. It will be made available to you tomorrow, and have a wonderful day.